Hi, Nick Tucker here with the Historical Fencing Guild. This week, folks, we're going to be doing a review that ties into the previous video about clubs. It also ties into some stuff I've seen where people were talking about gin. Gin? Now that I'm trying to say it, it won't come out right. Please pardon my chickens. Anyway, what I'm talking about, I'm just going to get into it because I feel my speech impediment acting up, is this. This is the Coldsteel Swordbreaker. And this is a very specialized implement that I bought, realized it was not what I thought it was, but it had perhaps a better source. It had a better use. And I'll get to that once I go through what are its features. Obviously, you can tell the length. This is made of the same black plastic, polyethylene, I say it wrong, polyethylene, that Cold Steel is famous for. This is everything you would expect in a cold steel training weapon. It is stout, it is nearly indestructible, it is heavy, and it's going to hit really hard. I will note that it has a point, and I'll see if I can get that to the camera. Before sparring, I would take a file and round that point off. I sparred a little bit with it without using any thrusts, but it's just a little pointy, which this is something I recommend with all the Cold Steel products. The tips just are a little sharp for safe sparring because there's no flex. This thing isn't going anywhere. But why did I order it, and why am I excited about it? Well, this was a little bit of case in my case, for a buyer beware. And I'm sorry about the chickens. They've been fed this morning and they're having a bit of a party. I wanted something light that I could use to sort of build up my wrist while I recover for some things. I'm actually not wearing my brace right now, which is a little odd, but we'll see how that goes. But what I got was something about a third thicker in this is going to be a difficult review to get through without making certain jokes, because this is a very nice, it's got a very distinctive pommel. It actually, the balance, it flows well enough that I'm not hurting myself without my brace. My wife's gonna be mad, but that's okay. This is actually hers, because we have to rewind. My wife, whom I love, is a retired SCA heavy fighter. And though it hasn't been though it's been a while since she swung rattan, I found that she missed it and didn't find the swords that we were using to really feel quote unquote right. When people are used to rattan, they're used to a very thick grip because the rattan's about an inch and a quarter in diameter. Some people shave it down and they do stuff, but Mandy was a lock the gauntlet in tough girl. The other thing I have found, and I want to say I love SCA heavies. I honestly found myself getting along better with a lot of the SCA heavies than I did some of the SCA lights. Even though I am a fencer of by nature, but I tend to be a little aggressive and a touch tactical. The point being, in the SCA, they use rattan, which are this bamboo-y stuff. It's about this big around. And while they use tape to mark edge alignment and a lot of honor to discuss edge alignment, realistically, swinging a club, it's going to move like a club, not always like a sword. The wind's going to affect it differently, and your striking point's going to be different. So, with this, and I want to put the cross section, you can see it has it's basically cruciform due to these very deep furrows, 4 intended striking edges. But you strike with the flat, you're fine, because this is essentially a very well balanced but very heavy club. It doesn't weigh much more than your my chickens back there are losing it, and I don't know how well it's conveying on the recording. But this is amazingly stout. So give me just a second to readjust the camera. Why are you readjusting the camera, Nick? You had a great angle. The light wasn't bad. Here's what I want. It's my heavy bag. Okay? Two things. One, stout, snaps. And this is going to lend a lot of power. This also fits well, and I think I have the angle right. I'm going to adjust it because I want to talk a little bit about our old friend, the wrap shot. Now this, okay, sorry. There we go. A wrap shot goes past your target, but the force curls the sword round, hits them in the back of the head. This is very, very popular. Shield bit contact. Now this is a trick where it becomes a matter of the wrist. The female wrist has slightly different tendons. This is partially part of why armoring women and understanding how they fight from a mechanical standpoint can be different, okay? The female fist is angled. It looks like this. The male fist looks flat, like this. So when a woman grips a sword, now there's 5% crossover, but when a woman grips a sword, there's a natural almost 45-degree angle to it. And when a man grips a sword, there's a almost natural 90-degree angle. If a male instructor tries to force a female to grip like they're boxing straight, it will make it very uncomfortable on the lower tendons of the female. And like I said, there's 5% of people who it crosses over. 5% of men have a traditionally female wrist. 5% of females have a male wrist. It's just one of those abnormalities. Me, through either injury or luck, I happen to have one of each. Okay. Now, if we're going from a very classic Sca Stance, we've got this nice A-frame guard. My shield would be here, but I don't want to block my voice or my visual. And you have, your strikes have a lot of power. Even just this little whack. But they tend towards teaching combos. You need to know that. The other thing you need to know is wrap shots. And it's just going to smack, whoop, okay, I don't want to hit the camera. Smack the snot out of it. And this weapon, let me reposition so we have slightly better light for a conversation. Sorry about that. This weapon is uniquely suited for an SCA fighter who wants to cross over into more HEMA-style combat, more with the plastics, the whites or the blacks. This is very heavy, so you want to wear, full armor. You don't want to sparring light with this is nearly impossible. But understanding what this is means for its job, it is exceptionally good. Exceptionally good towards a sort of niche market. But this is an evolution of the club. And what you have is a club that handles in a sword-like fashion. So many one-handed sword techniques that are concussive are maximized in this for that impact. Can I say I recommend it? Outside of that niche, no. This is not a normal sword. There's no flex. it's different. But within that niche, within the target of somebody who wants a both something that will allow for an evolution of stick fighting and a tremendous amount of power, it's hard to beat it. Now, I don't want anyone thinking that my description is a bashing on the weapon or is imputing its capability, because ironically this is balanced well enough to perform very much like a gem. It's a weapon I would love to put in my buddy Sword Sage's hand, because it's heavy, but it's balanced. It's responsive, but it gives you the impact. This is very. If you can hit somebody once with this, you're going to hit them. I find myself liking it, but disliking the amount of armor you have to use it safely. So it's a bit of a dichotomy. I also want to comment, actually, that boy, they did pretty on this. Do you see the little embossing? That detail they put on? It's on both sides. I'm trying to get the light to show it. It really is quite elegant. The grip is stout. It's a little large for my taste, but it does allow the slight oval, the vertical grooves allow for very positive grip. The pommel gives a lot of control, so you can do, golly. It's been a long time since I've played more Eastern, but gives very solid response. It's just, the tip is very, very sharp for how you're using it, and very, very concussive. So it seems like I'm bludgeoning how much armor you should be wearing when you use this. But this is full plate stuff. You need to be armored to use it. But if you're armored, if you're wearing a helm instead of a mask, and you want that real concussive force, this thing is hard to beat. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. It kind of meandered a bit, and I apologize as always for my poultry. But if you like this, like, share, subscribe. And as always, support your local swordmaster.